Hello, everyone, and welcome to this information session for the First Generation First Quarter Challenge. I'm glad that all of you are able to join us this afternoon. Allow me to introduce myself and some of our team before we meet your mentors. My name is Patrick Del Rosario. I am the Program Coordinator for the First Generation First Quarter Challenge, and I will lead it off to our Director.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carissa Sorensen, and I'm the Director of the First Generation First Quarter Challenge. Pleasure to meet you all.
And I would also like to introduce our administrative intern.
Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa Nicole Torres. I'm the Administrative Assistant Intern and I'm a fourth year at UCI.
All right. So to kind of give you a little bit of background about what the FGFQ program is, it's basically a program that helps students integrate into the university who are first generation students. And this program was initially created 3 years ago by our first generation faculty and our first generation students. And they kind of figured what were some of the things that people found challenging to happen in their first quarter, and how is it that we can kind of help people integrate to the university by going through these different challenges and kind of making sure that you are well equipped to continue on with the quarter as you are going through your first year at the university. One of the main key points is that you do have different mentors who are going to be leading you throughout the entire process. We have 3 of our mentors here today, and they're going to be introducing themselves to you and give you a little bit more information about them, because your mentors are going to be the people you can rely on. They're the people that you can talk to even throughout summer and throughout the academic year, and they're going to be here to guide you throughout the entire way. And they're also going to be the ones who are leading your sessions. So before we talk a little bit more about the program, let's go ahead and introduce you to some of our mentors. So we'll go ahead and introduce it through the first person, which is going to be Kiara.
Hi everyone, my name is Kiara Hernandez. I'll be a third year at UCI. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm majoring in psychology along with a minor in Chicano Latino studies. I don't know if I can consider myself an alumni of FGFQ, but I did participate in it my first year, so it's a pleasure to be back and to be giving back to FGFQ now as a mentor. And I'm excited to meet you all, see you all grow. Academia is a unique, individual, and personalized journey for each and every one of us. And I'm very excited to help you all blossom and help you all along your journey.
Yes, thank you, Kiara. And definitely blossoming, I think, is a really good term to use for, for this upcoming year. Lots of changes going on. All right, Elmer?
Hi, everyone. I'm Elmer Mateo. I will be a fourth year psychology and sociology double major. I'm also an FGFQ alumni. And when I was a first year, there's a lot of doubt. But FGFQ really helped me, I guess, get to know myself and get to know others and make connections. So I really hope to do that with the new students and make sure it's a great experience for us all.
Yeah. Thank you, Elmer. And one of the cool things is that you'll notice that 2 of our mentors already have mentioned that they've been part of this program. So even beyond the first quarter or even the first year, you'll have opportunity to still be involved with this program overall. All right, next person, Kevin.
Hello everyone, my name is Kevin. My pronouns are he and his, and I'm a third year double major in education sciences and social policy public service. I was not a past FGFQ mentee, but I was a part of a similar mentorship program coming in my first year here. And given that our first quarter coming into UCI might be a little bit different than anticipated, it's still a really exciting thing. You're coming into a brand new environment, whether it's virtually or physically, and you're given a bunch of opportunities to kind of explore your interests, especially at a very large public university. And it may seem scary at first. It was definitely scary for me, but I really hope to kind of give y'all that little push or kind of like that fire that y'all need to really navigate the campus and really feel comfortable kind of starting your academic journey at UCI.
Great. And you can see that everybody has different types of things that they actually went through in their first quarter. So these aren't the only mentors that you're going to be working with throughout the quarter. There are also 3 additional mentors who are going to be a part of the program. So in total, there's 6, and all of them come from different backgrounds, different programs, different experiences. So you'll get a really good holistic view about everything that happens within the university. Okay, so to talk a little bit more about the program and what exactly it is, really what it is that you're going to be going through the program throughout the entire first quarter of your academic career. So this is going to be including several weekly challenges that you can face. So some of the things are like interacting with faculty, making an appointment with the academic counselors, even beyond just your orientation. These are the types of things that we want to make sure that you have underneath your belt, so that way you know that you're able to kind of have a strong foundation going into the university. There's also going to be several personalized events that are going to be geared towards helping you meet other people within the university. And a lot of the times, meeting with faculty we found to be one of the more difficult aspects of how do you actually integrate into the university culture. So we'll be able to have meetings where you'll be able to meet different faculty from many different majors in our department. So even econ, Chicano Latino studies, political science, just anything that's related to social sciences. These mentors are also going to be helping you one-on-one. So it's not just going to be based on a session, but it's going to be based on your interacting with them on a personal level. So you can interact with them even outside of the sessions. I think one of the questions that we had from our enrollment was, are we allowed to interact with our mentors even outside of the program? And like, absolutely, that's what you're here for, or that's what they're here for. That's what we're here for. We want to help you throughout this entire process. And of course, it's all going to be based on community building. And the thing is that when you're going into a university setting, right, it's important for you to find your community. It might be a little bit more difficult regarding the fact that we are doing this remote, but this is a place where you can actually start to build your community and figure out who is it that you can interact with, or what are people doing from the previous years, especially since we had to go through remote in spring quarter, and how is it that they're adjusting and everything like that. So there is quite a bit that you can do as part of this program. So hopefully this kind of gives you an idea about what to expect when it comes to moving forward. So with all of that being said, I think it's a lot more effective if we were to actually answer some of the questions that you have right now regarding the program. There might be some specifics about the program that you wanted to know about. We do have some questions that have already come in. So we can go ahead and see if we can answer some of those right now. By when will we know who is our mentor? Okay, so SPOP just finished this week. So we should be giving out the different session schedules throughout the entire quarter sometime in the next upcoming weeks. So you'll be able to choose the session that you want to be a part of, and your mentor is already assigned to that particular session. And then once you actually solidify your session, that's who you know your mentor is going to be. Okay. All right, we did have another question. Some students were asking, what kind of involvements do any of our mentors or even the administrative intern, what kinds of things were you involved with this year, and how has it changed in the remote environment?
I can talk about my experiences.
Yeah, go ahead, Elmer.
So my third year, I was a peer educator at Student Success Initiatives. So what I would do, I would meet with students one-on-one to set goals for the academic year, right? And I was no longer able to see students in person, and despite I think I work better working in person. When we transitioned into online. It was a challenge, but it was nice to still communicate with students and help them in any way that I could. Despite not being able to meet them in person, I felt like I still was able to connect with them. And even though we'll be in remote learning next quarter, I hope to do the same thing and just transfer those skills that I learned and try my best to connect with the new students that come in.
I'll answer this one. Some involvements I was a part of this past year. I'm a researcher. I'm still continuing it throughout summer. So originally we started in the lab at school, but then we had to transfer virtually and transfer all our subjects and experiments to be online. So that was a challenge, but I take challenges as a positive thing because I'm able to grow from them. I'm also in a sorority, multicultural Greek one, specifically Chicana Latina. So if you have any questions, you could always ask me about that. This upcoming year, I'll be the cultural chairwoman. Typically, we're in charge of Banda Night on campus, but I don't know how that'll look like coming spring quarter with changes due to the pandemic, but we'll see. And I'm also involved in the Anteater Catholic community, so if you have any questions about that, I'm free and available to answer.
And I can also answer. So in the past 2 years, I've been involved with an organization called ASGCI. Most of y'all are familiar with it as student government or ASB in your high schools, but over here we kind of run it the same way, but a little bit more responsibilities. So I'm in charge of, last year I was in charge of high school outreach. So a lot of my things involved planning a lot of programs for high schoolers on how to get ready for the upcoming college application season, since everything's virtual, and then just help providing a lot of mentorship for high school students who are coming into their first year during the summer. The really cool thing is that, yes, while we are doing remote learning and we're doing a lot of our work at home, there's a lot of social aspects that are still in place. So for me, we had banquets at the end of the year, but we held it through Zoom. We still had team bonding nights and things like that. So even though our organizations are happening remotely, you're not missing out a lot on a lot of social aspects, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna start incorporating that some way.
Okay. All right, we do have another question. How do I enroll myself into the FGFQ program? And there's another question that's kind of related here as well. Do you need to register as a member of FGFQ to speak with mentors or use FGFQ resources? So in regards to enrolling into the FGFQ program, we could actually send you the link, and we are going to be sending you an email afterward in this meeting to sign up. And I believe if you look into the chat, well, chat needs to go to everyone. We can go ahead and put it into the chat that it's going to be available. Actually, Carissa, can you make sure it goes?
Yeah, I just sent it to all panelists. That's not very useful. All right,
Yeah,
there
so
you go, folks.
It is going to be in the chat, so you'll be able to sign up for the program there. And then if you do you need to actually register to speak to any of the FGFQ mentors? Because you're part of this particular session, if our mentors are comfortable, we would be able to provide you with their email. And if you wanted to talk to them about it, or if you wanted to talk to Carissa, myself, or Vanessa regarding anything related to your transition to the university, feel free to do so. Although I would say that it would be good for you to actually enroll into the program, because the amount of resources that you get might be a little bit different and a lot more focused towards who you are in the program, as opposed to if you're just doing it outside of the program. Does our SPOP group go on throughout the whole year, and our mentors get assigned per SPOP group, or did I misunderstand? SPOP, I'm not entirely sure about. Carissa, would you happen to know about SPOP?
I think SPOP is specifically for summer, but obviously you can certainly try to connect with like your SPOP leaders and other students in the program, and then hopefully continue that relationship beyond your time during summer. I know that, Kevin, you're part of the admissions group, and I don't know if you're familiar with this stuff, or if you remember from your experience being in SPOP, how you kind of connected and maybe continued those relationships.
So normally, yes, SPOP does end at the end of summer, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure at the end of SPOP, there's always a Facebook group chat or social media chat for a lot of y'all to continue connecting. That's how I kept in contact with some of my SPOP members. I also saw them in the class I've enrolled in, and just, which was a coincidence, and then we just kind of started forming these relationships from there. But other than that, I don't think there's any official continuation of SPOP events past the summer.
Then, thank you, Kevin. And then to answer our mentors get assigned per SPOP group. Well, FGFQ is a separate program from SPOP, so you'll be able to choose your own particular session, and then that session will have the mentors who are going to be assigned. So you'll be able to find out who your mentors are once you sign up for a session. Okay. Are there requirements that you need to complete to remain a member of FGFQ? In regards to requirements, it's just a matter of going through the program. If you are a first-gen student and you identify as one, you will be able to be a part of the program. It is something that's going to happen even beyond the first quarter. So even during winter and spring, we're still going to be having events, and we're still going to have our mentors be available to you and host one-on-one meetings. So it is something that's going to be happening throughout the entire year. And if you happen to want to either be part of FGFQ in the future, hopefully, I think, Vanessa, we're going to try to find a way to get our alumni more connected to the program as well. So that's definitely something that we're going to be working towards. How will we know if we are officially in? If you've already signed up for FGFQ in the past, or if you're not sure if you have, you can go ahead and send me an email, and my email will also be available in the email that I'm sending out after the session to confirm whether or not you're part of that list that we have or not. So feel free to use the link that Carissa sent to all of you to sign up for the program if you're not sure. But if you feel like you did already, you can go ahead and send me an email and I can check for you and see if you're on our list. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, another question that we had for all of our mentors is if there was one thing that you could tell yourself when you first entered the university, what would that one thing be?
I'd say to not be so afraid, to do something that this is something a staffer told me. She's like, do something that scares you, but like not anything dangerous, but like something that takes you out of your comfort zone, so that you can, I guess, you take, because I feel like I missed out on a lot of opportunities because I was so scared. So I'd tell myself to just not be so scared and just go for it, because the worst thing that could happen is they could say no, but the best thing that could happen is that you get in and you learn a bunch of stuff. So don't be so afraid, and enjoy your time. I think so.
Adding on to Elmer, yeah, I would say take risks. Apply to whatever position, whatever group, or whatever it is that you may even have the slightest interest in, because you never know where it'll take you, what connections you might make, what you'll receive from those programs. Like Elmer, I missed out on certain opportunities because I doubted myself, or because I just wasn't so organized in terms of deadlines and whatnot. So yeah, take risks and be organized.
I think for me, something I've learned a little bit first year, but second year, I definitely felt a lot more, is to definitely not compare yourself to other people in terms of your college experiences. I went into my first year thinking there's only one right way to do college, which was to sign up for as many things as possible, do this, join a frat. And I did happen to do that, but at the same time, I ended up realizing that I was more stressed out than having fun my first year. And I also realized that there's definitely go whatever your own pace allows you to. For some students, you might not feel like signing up for 10 organizations at once, and there's definitely no pressure to. And then for some other students, you feel more comfortable taking things one step at a time. And I think learning to be comfortable in kind of how you're approaching a lot of things in college helped me feel a little bit more secure navigating kind of these things.
Yeah, very good advice overall. Sometimes it's difficult to manage everything that's going on all at once, right? Because it always seems like there's so much stuff to do. Let's see. We have a question here, and this one's actually geared towards you, Kiara, in regards to Greek life. I don't think there's a specific question, but hopefully if we can share your email at the end in the list, maybe the student can reach out to you. Or if there's a specific thing that you wanted to know about, please put it in the Q&A so that maybe we can answer it right now. But yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, maybe if you can talk a little bit about the experience, like what does what is it called, rushing? What does rushing look like right now in the current format?
I don't know yet. That's my honest answer, especially because we're virtual right now. So yeah, I don't know yet. My reason for joining a sorority, there's different reasons depending if you're looking for something academic, if you're looking for something multicultural, which I did. I was looking for community. among my culture. That's why I ended up rushing. And I think for my experience, I rushed my second year. So I'm still a neo, and I don't regret rushing my second year because my first year I was allowed to explore more and see what was for me and what wasn't. And then coming my second year, I was like, okay, now I know what I want and what I want to get involved in. Like I mentioned, everyone's academic journeys are different, but I'm glad I rushed my second year, and I got to meet so many more people, expand my network, and you truly do build a sisterhood among all the girls you meet in the sorority. So it's been great. And the next question is, are sororities still taking in new students? Yes, they do every year. Some sororities rush every quarter, others just rush once a year like mine. But because of the pandemic, I don't know exactly what rushing looks like for the sororities in general. What are the fees? I will say that it's unique to each sorority. It, yeah, it also depends if if you're willing to pay for one financially. I know some also take like uh, um, payments as well, so it just depends. The one I'm in Phi Lambda Rho sorority. It's a Chicana Latina based one.
Wonderful. Thanks, Kiara. We have another question that came in. How do I know when I'm getting too involved and becoming at risk of falling behind academically? Do any of you have experience, like an example that you would be able to share?
I think I like don't even try to think about it. But my first year, I think first quarter is always the hardest quarter for a lot of students because we're transitioning to a quarter system. And for me, I joined a dance team my first year, and so I used to think that dance teams in college weren't high commitments, and then I realized that I'm putting in 6 hours a night to try to like practice. And I think one of the things I've realized a lot is that one way that I found out if I was extremely behind is that one, I feel like I'm not getting the most out of it. And two, my extracurricular activities start feeling more like a chore than actual, fun activities. And I think that's something to always keep a lookout for. During my first quarter, my academics weren't the best. But I also realized that there's a good balance to achieve. And if you feel like you don't even have enough time to focus on yourself, like self-care or just to relax, I think that's one of the biggest signs because when you're coming into college, mental health is probably one of the biggest priorities that you should focus on. And unfortunately for me, like I figured that out a little bit too late along. But.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Thank you for sharing that. How do you suggest, and I guess anyone can answer this one, how do you suggest that they can adjust to a quarter system? I'm guessing a lot of people might be coming in from a semester system.
Yeah, being organized is key. I believe in the FGFQ, what is it, like a pamphlet, the pages put together. Sorry, I can't speak right now, but I know that there's like a calendar we have attached there with upcoming deadlines weekly, I believe. I know that's super helpful. I used that my freshman year. Passion planners as well, and Google Calendar. I think it's just so nice to see just the leftover space I have and time slots available for myself or for studying and whatever I need to do. So I would say like once you find out like, oh, I have a midterm coming up, or I have a paper due this day, like put it in your calendar as soon as possible because those deadlines start creeping up on you, or and you don't want to end up writing a paper the night before, which I have been guilty of. Don't recommend. So I know it's hard, and I think it's different every quarter based on what your schedule looks like. So try to stay organized as much as possible and take advantage of your planners and what works best for you, whether it's writing it down or whether it's something virtual like Google Calendar.
All right. And we do have time for one more question. There's a student asking if they had work study, since this person was rewarded work study, how could they make use of it? And are there virtual positions available? I think Vanessa, you could probably answer this one.
Hi, so I actually work at the financial aid office. I am currently not for the fall quarter since, student workers aren't allowed on campus because of the pandemic. But if you are awarded a work study award, you can find jobs through Handshake. It's kind of like the college version of what's seen as LinkedIn. There you can apply to positions. You could also just look at department websites. So the social science department website links to different person positions, usually in-person positions, but a lot of jobs are switching to remote. For example, like I'm doing this with Patrick remotely with Carissa. There are other positions on campus that you could easily find that are trying to adjust to the new environment because this is for the long run in the end. But the hours may be more limited. And usually if you get your work study award, if you don't accept it now, there's a chance you won't get it again next year. So consider that if you don't end up finding a job, but always just, apply for jobs. It doesn't hurt to apply to multiple. You just probably would end up having an interview on Zoom. If you don't have a work study award, you can still apply to jobs on Handshake. That just means the department will pay you out of their budget. But there are most of the jobs on Handshake are tailored to work study awards, so just make sure you read the description completely.
All right. Okay, so we are nearing towards the end. We're actually a little bit over time. We'll go ahead and end it here. So we will be sending you information regarding everything that we talked about. So UCI Handshake, the FGFQ application. We'll even link you the page that goes to the different clubs and organizations where all the sororities are listed, since those are the things that we talked about today. And we'll also link in the emails of all of our mentors. And I know that our admin intern actually sent the link to our website where you can see all that information as well. But we will be being in contact with you soon. The one thing that I want to just finalize is that, again, you'll also be able to see when our sessions are going to start taking place. We'll be in contact with you within the next couple of weeks. And hopefully we'll be able to see you all around. So thank you for joining us today. And if you do have any other questions, please email us when we email you. We'll give that information to you on how to contact us. So we'll see you all around. Thanks for joining us, everyone.